Hi guys, and welcome to our birth story. When I was pregnant, I avoided traumatic birth stories like the plague. I feel like I need to shed light on the maltreatment and the malpractice that I experienced giving birth here in Puerto Rico. As we share our story, I'm in no way talking about Puerto Rico as a whole or the people of Puerto Rico as a whole. This is just my experience with the staff at the specific hospital I gave birth at and my OBGYN. August 19, I had my very last OB appointment. At that appointment, I was 39 weeks and 5 days. When my OB checked me, I was 1 centimeter dilated and she said that the baby was finally engaged. Keep in mind, the previous appointment, when I was 38 weeks, when she checked me, I was not dilated at all. Baby was not engaged in the pelvis. And at that 38-week appointment, she had mentioned and encouraged induction. She had no medical reason. Literally, her reasoning was, oh, if you're tired of being pregnant, like, baby's fully cooked. If you want to meet your baby, you can be induced and have your baby. At that 39-week appointment, she again mentioned induction. Asked her why. She just said, oh, baby's ready, baby's fully cooked. Remember, your placenta's getting old now. I don't recommend waiting much longer. This was like the first big red flag that we experienced. Our doctor bullied us into getting an induction. Why did we get bullied into getting an induction? Well, let me tell you. There's going to be a tropical storm that weekend here in Puerto Rico. When I hear there's going to be a tropical storm, of course I'm going to freak out and of course I'm going to panic. My doctor literally said, oh, there's going to be a tropical storm. You should get induced. Because what if you can't make it to the hospital? I told her I live really close, like I'll be able to make it. And then she was like, yeah, but what if I can't make it? Like, as in herself as the doctor. What if I can't make it to the hospital? And I kind of just look at her like in disbelief. You have to decide if you want the induction by 3 p.m. today. If you do, call us, let us know, and then call the hospital and let them know that you will be going in for the induction. At that same appointment, we asked if there were going to be private rooms available, because here in Puerto Rico, you can pay extra for a private room, or if you don't pay, you give birth with all of the other moms. She assured us that yes, we would be able to get a private room. Told us that all you had to do was get there, let them know, pay for it, and you would have the room. Epidural wise, I already knew that they did not offer epidurals. Yo ya estaba mentalizada. I was already mentally prepared for no epidural. Hubby's here because there came a point where I like basically blacked out and I don't remember things, so he's gonna help me remember and recall what happened. My mom had already flown in, thank goodness. So we go home and we talk about it and we decided to move forward with the induction.
We need to clarify, she didn't have any good reason for you to have the baby that day.
No, there was no medical reason.
Correct.
It was just for convenience.
I think she wanted to go on vacation earlier or something like that.
Probably. It was just for her convenience, to be honest. We call the clinic, we call the hospital, we let them know, yes, we're gonna go move forward with it. They say, okay, come in at 9 p.m. At 9:20, I am admitted into the hospital. They made me go up to labor and delivery by myself, while Edu had to go and do todo el papeleo. ¿Qué papeleo tenías que hacer?
Firmar unos documentos y firmar también las vacunas que le iban a poner a la bebé cuando naciera. Intentaron forzarme a que firmara la de la hepatitis B y yo les dije que no y me dijeron que iba a necesitar un abogado para eso. I was like, fine,
No.
I mean, I guess I will, but I'm not signing that right now.
Yeah.
I asked for the room and they told me, no, sorry, right now there is no room available. At that moment, they told me that there were 4 other women like giving birth and the rooms were already taken, but that I could try in the morning very early.
The doctor lied.
At that moment, 4.
So at that
already.
moment, there was already 4 women admitted to be
Induced.
Well, I don't know if all of them were going to be induced, but there was 4 women already going to give birth.
We didn't know at that moment.
But I'm pretty sure they were all being induced.
We didn't know at that moment.
Yeah.
Yes, they were all induced. Yes.
Yeah, they were. I made my way up to labor and delivery. I go into the unit and I tell them, hi, I'm here to be induced. They ask me who my doctor is. I tell them who my doctor is, and they're like, okay, here you go. So they give me a trash bag a paper plastic gown that I'm supposed to wear and give birth in. Here's a little introduction to how these women were going to treat me. Once I changed into the gown, the girl looks at me, I don't know if it was a CNA or if it was a nurse, and she says, "Oh, welcome to your VIP room." It was literally un cuartito, like, how big was it, babe? Tiny, like this tiny little cuartito que solo cabía.
No, es cuartito.
It wasn't a room, no. It's a section of the unit divided by a curtain. But it solo cabía la cama, so it was just the bed, the monitor for the contractions and the baby, and a hard-ass chair for Edu. No couch, no like...
Nothing
so those
else.
of y'all complaining about a couch and having to sleep on the couch, try a hard chair that doesn't even recline. So at this point, I'm in bed. The main nurse comes in. She does like all my intake information. That nurse was fine. She actually introduced herself. I had 2 other nurses or CNAs. I don't know. Nobody introduced themselves aside from that first nurse. They came in to draw some blood. She didn't wear gloves, so she drew blood and she did my IV without putting gloves on. I don't know why I didn't say anything. I don't know why I didn't advocate for myself. You'll see that I didn't speak up for a lot of things that happened. I don't know why, I just didn't.
Después de hacer todo el registro, yo subo donde está Paola y me doy cuenta que hay como, por lo menos ahí hay como 9 o 10, ya no me acuerdo, otras mujeres siendo inducidas ahí al mismo tiempo todas.
Whole unit was full, which I hadn't realized. Like, I knew that there was other women there, I just didn't know how many. But in the morning, once everybody started moaning and groaning because of the pain, that's when I realized that, oh shit, like there's a lot of women here being induced. So my doctor really said, you get an induction, you get an induction, you all get an induction. At this point, I'm laying in bed, I'm hooked up to fluids, I got the monitor on my belly, and it was just sitting on the chair. 11 or 12 were kind of just getting ready to go to sleep because we're tired and we want to get as much rest, obviously, before like contractions and all that starts. There was this like crazy bright fluorescent light above us. ¿Te acuerdas? He asked the nurse, hey, like, do you guys think you can turn this light off so we can sleep?
That was the only light that was not working.
That they couldn't turn it off for some reason. I had an eye mask on, so it didn't bother me, but pobrecito, it obviously was bothering
la
him.
víctima soy yo.
They give me the first dose of the vaginal Cytotec around 11 p.m. That one was fine. I didn't really feel any side effects from it. I think my baby did suffer a little bit of side effects from it because luego at 2 a.m. her heartbeat was a little elevated, so they came in, they put some oxygen on me, and then her heartbeat leveled out. 3 in the morning, I believe one of the nurses came in, she checked me, and I was only like 2, close to 3 centimeters dilated. A few minutes after that, comes into the room with Pitocin. I asked her if they were gonna do another dose of the Cytotec, which is what is typically done, but she said no, que la doctora said to start the Pitocin. At 4:37, I started to feel back labor. I was starting to feel the contractions. They were starting to happen. The doctor came in at 6 o'clock. She checked me. My water hadn't broken. She came and manually broke my water. I don't know why she couldn't have waited a little bit longer, why she couldn't have given me more time to let my water break on its own. Another thing I didn't advocate for myself for. I should have fought that. At that point, my body was asking me to get up, to walk, to squat, to get on all fours. Like, I wanted to move, get up and move. My nurse literally would not let me. She was like, nope, you can't. You have to be on the monitor. We have to monitor baby. And I asked her, I was like, but baby is fine. Why can't I just get up and walk? I really want to stand up and like move. Like, my body was literally asking me to move to help with like pain relief. And they straight up just wouldn't let me. I had to pee a lot, you guys. Throughout like the first half of the night, I was getting up and wheeling my little IV pole to the bathroom. So after the doctor came in and broke my water, that was it. They did not let me get up to go to the bathroom anymore. they told me I had to use a bedpan. I think they basically just got tired of me saying I have to go to the bathroom. She just said, no, you can't get up anymore. She looked at Edu and she was like, and you can do it. She told him, there's some cleaning supplies here. You can grab those cleaning supplies and clean it up. It's just the way they said it and handed it off was really, really disrespectful. After she broke my water, you guys, the contractions got intense. I was moaning and groaning. And you guys, at this point, everybody that was there to get induced was moaning and groaning. Like,
eso era un concierto.
So just imagine you going through all of the labor pains and then just having another woman next to you, like screaming, crying. Anyways,
gritando, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo. Y
yeah.
claro,
And that's
psicológicamente, pues.
yeah, that's so discouraging and so scary to hear that, especially as like a first-time mom, hearing other women and moms next to you screaming, I can't do this, I can't do this, it hurts. Like all this stuff is just like so scary. That when the doctor got there, she basically started doing rounds, breaking everybody's water and offering everybody un cocktail. This cocktail of pain medication was morphine, something for nausea, and one other thing that I honestly can't even remember. He offered it to me. At first I said no, like I don't want it, like I'm fine, I don't need it. Eventually she heard me moaning, groaning, and I was like in a lot of pain. She came in and she was like, do you want something for pain? At that moment I said yes, like just give it to me. I need something for the pain because it was getting bad. At that point she checked me and I was still like 3 or 4 centimeters dilated at that point. She gave me like a shot in the butt. Y eso me ayudó for like 2.5 hours. 9:30 a.m. and you guys, I am in so much pain. Estaba gritando ya? I was screaming?
Sí.
Yeah. Everyone in that freaking unit was screaming in pain. You were told that when you feel you have to push, to yell, que tengo que empujar. That meant that all of the doctor and the nurses would go into your room and then they would yell, Parto! Whoever was out, like in the outside of the curtain, like in the unit, especially the men, well obviously it was probably only the men, they had to go back into the curtain, into the room for privacy. The other doctor, not my main doctor, the other female doctor that is at that clinic comes into my curtain and she looks at me and she says, do you want the epidural? I look at her and I'm like, what do you mean? I thought there was no epidural. And then she was like, well, it's similar to an epidural. And
no era epidural.
It was not an epidural, to be clear. I signed something. I genuinely don't know what I signed. I don't remember what I signed. I don't know what it was. From what I explained to my brother, like the symptoms that I had after that, he said it sounds like it was like a spinal block. The anesthesiologist, he comes in.
Me dice que salga afuera.
Because it's a sterile procedure. So they make Edu leave the room. There's a nurse or a CNA.
Can we stop calling that a room? It's not a room.
It wasn't a room. The cubicle.
Yeah.
It's a CNA, me, ¿verdad? Era solo el CNA, yo.
Y una enfermera.
And a nurse and the doctor.
Te hacen sentarte.
And they help me sit up. He does his thing. I felt instant relief, so I was very happy and thankful. I was like, oh, thank God.
Pero mientras tanto, mientras se hacía el procedimiento, de repente una mujer se puso a parir.
Yeah.
Y dijeron, hombres dentro. So me obligaron a meterme dentro.
While they were doing
y cuando,
the procedure still,
y
right?
cuando entré, me miró el cine que estaba en medio del procedimiento y me echó la bronca. Me dijo, ¿qué haces aquí? Tienes que salir, tienes que salir. Entonces yo estaba entrando y saliendo. Me echaba la bronca a los doctores que me veían fuera, me echaba la bronca porque... Pero me habló feo en ese momento. Yo lo entiendo porque estaba pues con presión ahí, súper concentrado el hombre, pero... Pero todo el mundo me estaba echando la bronca. Porque o estaba dentro o estaba afuera, pero las dos estaban mal. Tenía que desaparecer.
It is now 11:30. I am woken up by pain from the contractions, and my epidural, that's not an epidural, has worn off. I had no idea if I had to start pushing yet or not. This is my first baby. We don't know. Ibu went out of the curtain and he went out to ask for help. No one had come in to check in on me to see how dilated I was, to see if I was ready to push. Someone did come in and they checked me and they said that it was time to push, ¿verdad?
Just start pushing.
They said it's time to push, que they could feel the baby's head, right?
They didn't say anything about how to push.
Yeah, so they said it's time to push, and they left.
Yeah.
They literally left. So Edu was, like he said, he literally went on ChatGPT asking Chat, like, how to help my wife. ¿Qué pusiste? How to help my wife
How
push?
to push when delivering.
How to push when delivering. And literally he was my coach. Like, he was the one that was, like, helping me breathe through the contractions and telling me when to push.
Sí.
And holding my hand.
Eran muy frecuentes.
Yeah, the contractions were like very
Eran muy
frequent
frecuentes.
at this point. I think at that point I was like 7 centimeters dilated. It was just Edu and I alone in this tiny little cubicle, adivinando, playing a guessing game of just really listening to my body and like pushing when I thought I had to push and breathing and pushing the way I thought I had to push.
Yo creo que pasaban como por lo menos 10 contracciones o más hasta que alguien volvía a chequear de nuevo. Eso es media hora.
Yeah.
Sin que nadie venga y yo preguntándome hasta cuándo vamos a estar así con esta situación. O sea, no.
Yeah, I remember. All I remember is him like going in and out of the curtain and like frequently asking them to come check me and to come help. Eventually, they did come. I remember the doctor came. Maybe a couple of nurses, I don't know if they were nurses or CNAs, and they came to see, okay, let's see how you're pushing. I pushed, and the doctor immediately was like, oh, you're not pushing right. That's not how you push. You're not supposed to be pushing like that.
Después de horas ya.
After like, what, 2 hours? After literally like 2 hours of me thinking I'm pushing the right way. And so she says, you have to push like if you're gonna have a bowel movement, okay? And so then like the next contraction, I'm trying to push like if I'm having a bowel movement, and she's like, no, you're still pushing with like your head, you're still pushing with your abdomen, you're not doing it right. And then in this moment, instead of them being encouraging, they started to say like really just inappropriate out-of-pocket comments like stop screaming, stop quejándote, stop complaining, stop whining. And then one of them was like, if only you would push as loud or as hard as you're yelling, like as hard as you're crying. And you guys, I'm in so much pain that I'm hearing these comments, and all it's doing is just like kind of affecting me mentally, but I don't have like the physical strength to like say anything honestly about like the things that they're saying to me. Literally only like 2 of us left to deliver, okay? And I know this because we literally overheard them saying que queda Paola and like one other one.
Yeah, and she wasn't ready yet.
And she wasn't even close to being ready yet. A bunch of them come into the room, they check me, I'm like fully dilated.
Now they're coaching
10.
you.
And now, after like 3 hours of no help, no coaching, no ball. Okay, there's no balls, there's no peanut balls, there's no squat rack, they didn't let me move around. I couldn't get in different positions. There was nothing. There were no nurses, no CNAs, no doctor helping, just us two, literal.
3 horas con contracciones cada minuto y medio, cada 2 minutos y 2 minutos.
Yeah.
Sin parar.
Everybody rushes into my room, and now they're coaching me. Now there's like someone to my right, someone to my left, the doctor's there, and now they're measuring my contractions, and they're telling me to push, and they're helping me and telling me how to push. They're still making stupid comments, but like at least they're helping me and coaching me push. But they notice that the baby's not coming out, and I'm legit telling them like she's not gonna come out. Like I felt something was off, and I could tell like it no iba a salir. Like there was something in me that just felt like she wasn't gonna come out with just me pushing. And
te cambian a otra cama.
Yeah.
Y soy yo el que te tiene que cambiar a otra cama.
Right, so
Ni le ponen el freno en la cama ni nada. Soy yo el que tiene que hacer el cambio.
yeah, so
Contigo tú, o sea, tú empujándote con las manos y yo con las sábanas estirando.
yeah, so yeah,
Like
that
ahí
was
te
bad.
podías haber caído, literal.
Yeah, I could have fallen. Yeah. Edu had to transfer me by himself, and I had to push off of the bed to get onto the other bed.
Dijeron, vale, es tiempo tenemos que llevarla a la sala no sé si era sala de operación, no sé qué era, una sala más
Yeah, so they said that they had to take me to another room. So they wheeled me and they take me into this room. All I remember is that it was like a very white room, very bright. Y de repente I remember que they're giving you like una bata. They give him like a gown and like a hat, right? And shoes.
Everything.
They give him like everything. Like he has to gown up. And so in my head, when I hear that, I'm like, am I going to the OR? Like, are they about to do surgery? Like, are they going to do C-section? Like, what's happening? And so then they take me in there, and I also hear the doctor saying, que llamen a la pediatrician, to call the pediatrician to be ready. And there's like a whole team. There was like 5, right? Like at least 5 people there ready for like when the baby came out. And so I'm kind of panicking.
Now this room is like it has all the toys.
Yeah.
Nice bed, like everything. It's meant for delivery there.
Yeah. Put my legs in the stirrups, and they're all there coaching me and helping me push.
Tú estás muy roja ya y con los ojos blancos casi. Te dan oxígeno.
They had to put oxygen on me again. Edu says that like all he could see was like the whites of my eyes, like cause like they were rolled back because I was just exhausted and in so much pain and pushing. I was just so tired from pushing. So they're coaching me. They're telling me to push. I'm pushing, but she's not coming out. I'm yelling and I'm telling them to literally cut me open. I'm telling them like get her out of me. Do a C-section, get her out of me, porque like I knew que no iba a salir. Like I felt like she wasn't gonna come out.
Ahí en el canal.
I feel like a movement, like a weird movement in my vagina. And all of a sudden, I heard like a tug, like a pull. And that's when I knew that she was using the suction, the vacuum on her head, which she never asked me and she never told me she was using that. ¿Te preguntó a ti?
No.
If they could use it?
No, estaba así estirando, se va para atrás, casi se caía para atrás.
Yeah, that's how hard she was pulling on Aitana's head. After the first attempt that she did to suction the baby out with the vacuum, she did it 2 more times. So that second time, she had someone pushing down on my belly.
Big dude, like.
Apparently it was a big guy.
Jumping on her.
Literally like, así, like, como era?
Sí.
Like literally with like his forearm going like this, squeezing my belly, like if you're trying to squeeze the baby out with the forearm.
Muy grande.
Apparently it was a big guy. I thought it was a girl.
No.
I told Edu, I was like, babe, like, what's that?
Ese hombre pesaba por lo menos
what was that girl
250 libras.
I was like, what was that girl doing? And Edu looks at me and he was like, babe, it was a big man. Like, it was not a girl. And the problem with that is, A, that maneuver is illegal. It's illegal in the US. It's illegal here in Puerto Rico. You can't do that maneuver. It is dangerous. But they did it. They did it. And B, when they did that maneuver, literal, he would push on my diaphragm, so I would literally lose oxygen. Like, I couldn't breathe. So it was like, I was like literally pushing, and as I'm pushing, he's like pushing down, so I'm like literally no air to even push because he's like knocking the air out of me. 3rd round, she said, okay, if the baby doesn't come out on this 3rd round, then okay, we'll do C-section. And at that point, I was like, okay, like it's gonna be C-section because I legit didn't think she would come out. Last push, I gave it my all, and with the suction, and she came out. But how did she come out, babe?
Bueno, salió totalmente gris, como un alien. No, de verdad. O sea,
she was
ella,
gray, yeah.
Ahí
She
no
didn't
había...
cry. She didn't cry.
Pero gris, ya...
She was deprived of oxygen.
Eso no sé si yo... A ver, dicen que tenía pulso.
Yeah.
Pero
she
eso estaba así, like,
her
como
APGAR, yeah, like a little rag doll.
Sí.
Yeah,
Literal.
her APGAR score was a 1 when she was born. She literally only had a pulse.
Sale y rápidamente le va a cortar el cordón umbilical. Y se veía a la doctora que estaba
The
con
doctor
miedo.
was scared and
Sí.
stressed.
Y yo,
I don't remember, but
sí, no, tú estabas completamente ida, con los ojos hacia atrás,
yeah,
blancos,
I was gone.
casi inconsciente diría yo. Y sale la bebé y rápidamente le va a cortar el cordón umbilical. Y yo le digo, porque habíamos hablado de esto antes, no le cortes el cordón umbilical así de rápido, quiero que esperes. Y la doctora me responde literalmente, tú a mí no me dices lo que tengo que hacer. Tú a mí no me dices lo que tengo que hacer. Y en mi cara lo corta.
Edu tells the doctor, no, like, don't cut it. Like, we wanted the delayed clamping, which we had talked about. But she literally looks at him in the face and says, you're not going to tell me what to do. And she cuts it. So it's not so much that she cut it.
Maybe,
which, yes,
maybe it was needed.
It probably was needed. But it's not that. It's just the fact that she looks at him and tells him, you're not going to tell me what to do. Like, in that tone of voice. Like, I just feel like that's so unprofessional. He's a dad who's literally stressed. His wife has passed out, basically. His baby's, like, looks lifeless. Like, why would you talk to a concerned dad like that? So they immediately take the baby and they're resuscitating her. They're, like, stimulating her.
Pero no, nada de lloros, no se escuchaba nada.
Yeah, I didn't hear her crying at all.
Pero durante varios minutos. Durante varios minutos no se escuchaba nada. Y yo estaba mirando al bebé y yo estaba preguntando, ¿por qué no está llorando? Porque ya habían pasado minutos y no estaba llorando, no se escuchaba nada. Y la bebé seguía así como...
lifeless.
Sí.
Like, basically lifeless.
Y yo miraba para allá, estaban ahí resucitando a la bebé, y miraba para el otro lado y Paula estaba con los ojos blancos. Yo no creo que tú estás consciente de lo que estaba pasando y estaba así mirando de un lado para otro. Mi esposa no estaba casi respondiendo, la bebé tampoco lloraba y yo le preguntaba a la doctora, oye, ¿por qué no está llorando? ¿Por qué no está llorando? ¿Por qué no está llorando la bebé? Estaba preguntándolo, pues preocupado, evidentemente, pero tampoco estaba faltando el respeto. Y la doctora de repente me mira y me dice, como no te calmes, voy a mandar que te echen de aquí.
That's so fucked up.
Que tampoco tú tenía yo energía para ponerme a discutir. Yo simplemente seguí, oye, ¿por qué no está llorando? Tiene que llorar, tiene que llorar. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando?
All I remember is him, like, looking that way and then looking at me, like, kind of like looking back and forth, and just, like, I saw his eyes were red. I saw him, he was crying. I could tell he was crying. And, like, I knew, like, something was wrong, but, like, I just physically could not react to what was happening because I just wasn't there. But Edu, I could hear him asking the doctor what's going on, like, why isn't she crying? Why isn't she crying? And while all this is happening, nobody is coming to him to tell him, hey, Dad, this is what's going on. Baby's got a pulse, but we're trying to, like, stimulate her to, like, get her to, you know, to cry, or giving her oxygen. Like, no one came to explain to him as the dad what was going on. Instead, what happened was the doctor looks at him and tells him that if he doesn't calm down, she's gonna have him kicked out of the room. That is such disheartening behavior from the doctor, and it's so disgusting, in my opinion, the way that she spoke to him, because he's a first-time dad. He's watching his baby that's lifeless, basically, and his wife is also basically passed out. He's, like, just a stressed out, worried dad. Typically, as the doctor, as the nurses, as the CNA in that room, your job, aside from taking care of baby, is someone, at least one person who's not busy with baby, should come to the dad and the mom and tell them what's going on. It's just the normal, natural thing to do. Instead, they tell him they're gonna kick him out if he doesn't shut up. I asked her, did I tear? And she said, yeah, I'm stitching you up right now. And I asked her how many stitches she's doing. And she literally looks at me and says, oh, I don't count that, but it was around a 2nd-degree tear. And I'm just like, cool. Like, at this point, I'm like, I'm not even surprised anymore. After about 5 minutes, she finally cried. Put her on my chest for a little bit. We didn't get to do it, like, any skin to skin. She was, like, wrapped up in a blanket. I had that paper gown on. Like, there was no time to, like, take off the gown and do skin to skin, because they took her immediately right after they took her to do some testing. They wheel me back into that cubicle that I was in. They tell Edu, okay, Dad, you can go get her some food now. Goes, he gets me a bunch of yummy food. I tell him, I was like, baby, I want to shower. Like, I really want to shower. We go in the bathroom together. I'm still hooked up to the IV. Turn the water on. I hop into the shower. Y'all, there was no hot water. There was no warm water. Okay? It was cold ass water. And I had jabón all over me. And it was, like, quickly trying to, like, washed the jabón off of me, and I'm over here just like freshly delivered, bañándome, bleeding a lot, showering in cold water. Yeah, I thought I should mention that. They had to wheel me back into the room because I got dizzy. And then we basically just had to wait for a postpartum mother-baby room to open up. And to our surprise, it was a shared room. They had told us that he could be there with me, that he could spend the night. But then they told us, oh no, you can't be in there. It's a shared room, so all the men have to leave. He had to switch with my mom. He had to go pick up my mom, bring her to the hospital, and my mom was the one who spent that first night with me at the hospital with baby, which I'm so grateful for. I'm so happy she was there and she was here to help me. Pero, you know, my dream was to spend my first night after everything that happened with obviously my husband and my baby. And the sucky part was that the next day we found out that Aitana had to stay in the NICU for a week because of a protein being high. And that's a story for another day. I'm not even going to go into that. She shouldn't have been in the NICU for a week. I think they just wanted to cobrar el seguro, but we're not going to get into that. Aitana is good. I think God was there the whole time and he saved her and he protected me también. It was just honestly a very traumatic experience, mainly not just because of the pain. Like, it's not even really about the pain. It was more about the treatment that we received and like the negligence. I felt like they left me for last because I was a first-time mom, and I felt like they were treating me like if I was just exaggerating and like if I was being dramatic about my pain. Back in that little cubicle after I delivered and Ella was out getting food, I had my eyes closed and I hear the doctor come into the unit and I hear her open my curtain. I had my eyes closed. She saw my eyes were closed, so she probably thought I was sleeping. She closed the curtain, and then I heard her talking with the nurse, and she was like, ha ha ha, esa hija de Paola llora igualita a ella. So she was like, ha ha ha, Paola's daughter cries exactly like she does. All just like giggling and all giddy and laughing with each other about my baby's cry and my cry. So just very unprofessional. Malpractice happened, just negligence, no empathy. Yeah, just bad experience. That is our birth story. Don't let your doctor bully you into doing something that you and your gut feel you shouldn't do. We have made some friends here that have delivered here as well, and they had a very similar experience to us. So this negligence and the malpractice and the maltreatment is not just something that has happened to me, and I know it's happening to other women. And I feel like the women here in Puerto Rico are kind of used to the maltreatment during labor and delivery, so they don't really understand or even realize that they're being treated like animals, literally. The stuff that happened to me and that is happening to women here in Puerto Rico when they give birth, it just wouldn't fly back in the US. And it shouldn't fly here because it's illegal, a lot of the stuff. They're just somehow getting away with it. Advocate for yourself. If you have your hubby or a family member who can advocate for you, make sure that the person that you have in there will always advocate for you. I'm so thankful that he advocated for me as much as he could.
We love the people here,
Yeah.
the culture, beautiful country.
Mm-hmm.
Just
we've met some beautiful friends, beautiful
Yes.
people. We have an amazing, our church community, everyone is so kind.
just this aspect.
But in this aspect,
Yes.
and
Just
our
like about this
experience,
aspect.
and just in from what I mean is like just like in labor and delivery, just labor and delivery, and it as a whole,
Like
it needs some improvement, y'all.
Yes.
It really does, and it's just a reality. There needs to be some kind of reformation. I think women need to low-key go out and protest because it's bad. Like, it's bad. And I'm not the only one. That was our story. But on the bright side, God is good. Aitana is good. I'm good, thank God. It was a little rough, but we're all good. She's healthy. God protected us and gave us strength through it all. But it's just that. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching till the end if you did. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.